This episode is supported by Fulton Commons, and if you're looking for a place to co-work, look no further. It is a super cute space with lots of light, and it's great for individuals and organizations. Like us, CityCast is there, and I love to change up my workspace, and you can do that so easily just within the building. Like, I like to start out with a cup of coffee, looking out the window at the trees, then pop over to these bright pink booths, and then I end my day tucked into a desk at the library-inspired corner. But what's truly unique about Fulton Commons is the shared commercial kitchen on site. So for co-working members, this means lots of food-related events and maybe a taste of Pittsburgh's next big product. And for professionals, this is a perfect place to start or grow your business. There's over 8,500 square feet of kitchen space, and Fulton manages the kitchen infrastructure. There's access to equipment, storage, prep and cleaning areas, everything you need, whether you're a baker, prepared meal provider, food truck operator, or doing something else that's super cool in the food space. Visit FultonCommons.com to learn more and request a tour.
This is CityCast Pittsburgh. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about.
This is the usual thing you hear. Oh, I was driving across 80. I saw the exit for Punxsutawney. I thought, I may as well just check it out. So it's kind of like the Blarney Stone. You know, people just like any given day, they're like, well, I just wanted to see where it happened.
I love the idea of being in the room where it happened, you know?
And I want to go to Punxsutawney so badly. I love Phil. I do not care about the Blarney Stone. Give me the groundhog.
I've seen the Blarney Stone. I have not seen Phil. So I think this is one for my own personal bucket list. I'm with CityCast producer Sophia Lowe, and we are talking today about everything you need to know about Pennsylvania's favorite rodent, Punxsutawney Phil.
Maybe even the country's favorite rodent. Who's to say?
True. Yeah. So we're going to talk about who Phil actually is, why he matters so close to us here in Pittsburgh, his relative accuracy. We'll talk about that later, and some of our favorite lore. So let's get started. Sophia, who is Phil?
A groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil. He's also Pennsylvania's quote-unquote official meteorologist since 2024, as declared by Governor Josh Shapiro. He seems to be a really huge fan of this groundhog, too. But do not worry, we do have a human who is our state meteorologist, so, like, it's not actually up to a groundhog.
I mean, honestly, if Phil were doing it, that would make sense with what just happened with all the snow.
You're right. But, you know, Groundhog Day is coming up February 2nd, and there's always a huge celebration in Punxsutawney that's about 2 hours away from Pittsburgh. And this has been a very long ongoing tradition. Phil has been making predictions about the weather since the 1880s, so he is truly an icon.
True. And remind me which is which, because I have to look it up literally every year.
Oh, yeah, me too. Shadow is more winter. No shadow means spring, which I always feel is so weird because if he sees his shadow, that means there's sun.
Also, like, yeah, this is confusing because I mean, at least in Pittsburgh, like, it's always cloudy. Like there's never.
That's why he doesn't make his prediction here.
Truly. So, do people love him? You know, I when we were first talking about this, you were like, we need to talk about why people love him, and I was like, wait, but do they? Like, is that a thing?
I would argue yes. First, because tens of thousands of people show up to Punxsutawney each year. People are wearing groundhog hats and all sorts of fun gear, so they're like dressed to the nines for this. And I checked the numbers for last year. It was the biggest crowd ever with around 50,000 people.
That's a lot.
Seems like it was because it fell on a Sunday, so I think the weekend crowd drew out more people.
But I've seen like totals that are like 40,000 plus on like, you know, middle of the week situations. I am curious to see what a very snowy Monday is gonna do to the whole thing this year.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm sure it's weather dependent, but I don't know if just cold would keep people away because it's in February. Like, you kind of have to expect that.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like we should put that into perspective, too, because like Punxsutawney, that's in Jefferson County, it's like pretty small.
Yes, the 2020 census says the population is a little over 5,700 people. So we're really scaling up for this celebration.
No kidding. I mean, that's like kind of on the scale, like, I don't know, relative wise to like Pittsburgh looking at the NFL draft. Like, Punxsutawney's basically having their own little NFL draft like every single year.
Which, I'm going to be honest, makes me feel a little better about us handling it.
I mean, actually, in terms of relative size, I think Punxsutawney has us way beat.
You're right. But, you know, this whole thing got pretty popular after Groundhog Day, like the movie was released in the 1990s. I still haven't watched it, to be honest. But
I haven't. I'm aware that it is a classic Bill Murray movie. But Sophia, I tried to watch Scrooged over the holiday season, and it made me kind of not want to ever watch a 90s era Bill Murray movie. I don't know. This one's, y'all, please let us know. Right into the Groundhog Day hotline, 412-212-8893, and let us know if we should actually spend time on Groundhog Day, the movie. Let us know.
Yeah. I would love to know too, just because I don't really love a time loop trope, but maybe this one's worth it. But, before Groundhog Day, it was just a few thousand people showing up, and now, tens of thousands. And I want to play you a clip from Shapiro at the celebration in 2025. He is speaking with just so much passion. Like, yes, people love him. At the very least, me and Governor Josh Shapiro love him.
Hear me on this, Punxsutawney. If anybody comes for Phil, they're going to have to go through me and all of you. Am I right? Baby! Pennsylvania, happy Groundhog Day. Have an amazing day. I love you. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you.
And people do come for Phil. We'll get to that in a bit, but, I want to still talk about all the love he gets.
Sophia, I was not ready for that kind of energy from Governor Josh Shapiro. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning when he's given that speech.
I know. That's why I think people really love him. Obviously, his biggest fans are probably the Groundhog Inner Circle.
That was so aggressive. I haven't recovered. Okay, Inner Circle.
Yeah, so they're responsible for making Groundhog Day happen. They're the ones taking care of Phil. If you watch the Groundhog Day celebration, whether in person or on live stream.
I have watched the live stream before.
Yeah, these are the dudes in the big top hats, and they also have silly nicknames like Shingle Shaker. He's the president, by the way. Moonshine, Thunder Conductors, all that kind of stuff.
Wait, each one of them has a nickname like that, or collectively they are known as Thunder Conductors?
No, Thunder Conductor, I think that'd be singular. That'd be one person.
That's one person.
Yeah, these are all individual nicknames, and I think that's also really fun. They just lean into the celebration so hard.
Incredible. Okay. But some people do not like the groundhog. Famously, the group People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA, they have been making gambits around Groundhog Day for years now.
Yeah, actually, CBS covered that this year, and surprise, Shapiro also makes an appearance.
For decades now, PETA has been lobbying to replace Phil with, for example, a gold coin or a vegan weather reveal cake, or even a 36-year-old woman from Oregon who said she'd live in Phil's burrow and live stream it. The new suggestion is a giant 3D hologram, which one Philadelphia Inquirer columnist described as both adorable and terrifying. But the governor of Pennsylvania is having none of it. He's posted a photo of Phil with the words, "Don't tread on me." And if you're thinking, well, he's clearly joking, people have reached out to his office, and the office said, quote, he's indeed very serious about his defense of Phil.
Yes, Josh Shapiro, famously very serious.
Have you seen the holograms, Megan?
I've seen the AI mock-ups of them.
Yep.
Actually, I can't defend it. I really can't. It's AI slop, but at its finest, I guess.
And there's a pink version for spring, a blue version for winter. I do love how big it is because obviously it's a projection, so much larger than a groundhog itself. But come on, no one is standing out in the cold for a projection. We want the real thing. We want to see the animal.
You need to see the animal. I mean, I understand why they also don't love this. Not here in Pennsylvania, but I think it was in New York State at some point, maybe New Jersey, I forget, to the east. Some elected leader accidentally dropped the groundhog, and it turns out they're quite fragile. The groundhog died.
I do remember reading something like that, but thankfully that doesn't happen to Phil. I also get
Phil
that,
is very well cared for.
PETA is saying groundhogs aren't very social animals. They're usually hiding during this time, hibernating.
That's fair.
That kind of thing. They're not, like a dog running up to you. But at the end of the day, it seems like Phil gets pretty good care. You said, there are people watching over him, and I would wager his life is maybe better than a groundhog in the wild. He probably gets more treats.
Truly. But okay, so we have this big celebration. Everyone comes to watch him. How accurate is Phil on the average?
He sucks, to to be frank. I love him, but he's like not very good at his job. So I was trying to pull up numbers. The official Groundhog Club website actually has a record of his past predictions going back to 1887. Did not do all that math.
Nah, that seems fair.
But the National Centers for Environmental Information looked at numbers from like the last 10 years-ish, and he's only right about 30% of the time.
Okay, well, 10 years is not. When you've got that much data, I feel like someone should do a little bit more digging on that. Like, that's not fair. That's not a good subset when we have records going back.
That's true.
That is a task for AI, actually. Let's give that to ChatGPT.
That's fair. That's fair. But, you know, I do think it's fun going through the Groundhog Club website's like archives, because some of the years have like little fun facts to them. This is how I learned that in 2006, Phil wore a little terrible towel outfit to make his prediction. That's so cute.
Well, that's because that's when the Steelers went to the Super Bowl. It was like a couple days later.
Oh, didn't make that connection. Oops. Too focused on the groundhog.
I mean, you were also a small child. Today's episode is supported by the Westmoreland Museum of Art. Y'all, I just went and it blew me away. It's been on my list for a long time. It's Western Pennsylvania's only museum dedicated to American art, and admission and parking are always free. Right now, they've got this exhibit, Steel Valley Visions, An American Legacy. It uses this really cool blend of historical and contemporary art to tell the story of how steel shaped our whole region. So there's stuff that used to be here, but a lot of stuff that you can still see. The pieces I loved most were the ones that didn't romanticize Pittsburgh. There's a piece by Colin Campbell Cooper that shows what the city looked like around 1905, and the colors are muted but still vibrant. It's our skyline from Mount Washington, so it feels familiar, but also everything in that image is kind of foreign. And that's the cool thing about this exhibit and an immersive experience in the same space. It all just sort of transports you. You will know these views, these landscapes, these sounds, but you'll get to feel them in a totally new way. Again, all this is totally free, no registration required. Learn more and plan your visit to the museum at thewestmoreland.org.
CityCast Pittsburgh is brought to you by Planned Parenthood of Western Pennsylvania, who believe that abortion services should always be safe, legal, and accessible. Abortion remains legal in Pennsylvania, but not every person who needs it can get access due to economic barriers. Even with insurance, coverage rules, and financial roadblocks can leave patients unexpectedly paying out of pocket. The Vivian Campbell Fund at Planned Parenthood of Western Pennsylvania can help ease the ripple effect costs that show up in real life when scheduling medical care like abortion, such as gas and parking, long-distance travel, or childcare needs. It can even help offset hardship situations like job loss, housing instability, and more day-to-day challenges. Nobody should be forced to delay or go without critical health care because they can't afford it. Learn about Vivian Campbell's story and make a donation to this vital patient support fund at ppwp.org. A gift to the Vivian Campbell Fund is a direct way to support those who need it most. You can help protect abortion services in Western Pennsylvania by visiting ppwp.org and donating to the Vivian Campbell Fund today.
Okay, lore time. We've been calling these internally fun Phil facts, all with the PHs. We love an opportunity for nonsense around here.
I really do love a lot of nonsense. So Phil lives in the Punxsutawney Memorial Library, so you can go visit.
Like any time of year, too, right?
Yeah. Because, you know, they've got like this inside enclosure for him, but you don't need to be visiting during library hours because there's also like, I guess, a window where you can see into his exhibit from the outside. So, you know, if you're in the area, not on Groundhog Day, you can still say hello. I think that's super cute.
I like that. I hope he also gets some like personal, like private time and isn't like, you know, up against the glass at all hours of the day.
He probably has an area where he can hide. His hobbies, another fun fact, he likes to read the newspaper, so maybe he like keeps them and like burrows himself in them. He can make himself a little hidey hole.
I mean, he is 135 years old. Like honestly, that tracks as a newspaper person, right?
If I go visit him, I'm gonna give him a printed copy of our newsletter. Maybe he'd like that.
bring him into the 21st century.
Yeah, I think this is where the fun facts start to get a little unhinged, though. So Phil only speaks groundhogese. He doesn't speak English.
Wow. Okay, so you got to translate our newsletter. Got it.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that one. Well, the president of the Groundhog Club can do it because he's the only one who knows how to speak the language. The way it works is this power comes from an ancient acacia wood cane. It's passed down from president to president. So there's magic involved.
Sure. Why not? Absolutely.
And I also have read somewhere like Phil is never wrong about his prediction, and he was like quote unquote wrong. It's actually because of a mistranslation. So that's the president's
so it's the human's fault. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in that case, I take my previous answer back. Phil is great at his job. We're just horrible translators.
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm imagining like the president like squeaking or something, like making this little noises, you know?
Yeah, that'd be cute. I think if, they should incorporate that into the celebrations first.
Why not? I feel like we should also like pause here to talk about how the Groundhog Club says they found Phil in the first place. CityCast Pittsburgh talked to one of the handlers for Phil going back a few years. This is AJ DeRoom. Actually, what's his nickname, Sophia? Do you know?
Ooh, let me pull up the Groundhog website real quick. It's Rainmaker.
Rainmaker. This is Rainmaker.
He actually found us around 1886 or 1887. There were a group of guys. They weren't the inner circle yet. They weren't the Groundhog Club. They were just guys that had an annual picnic where the feasted on groundhog. They literally went out and hunted groundhog in the morning and had a picnic in the afternoon. And they'd bring in dignitaries from around, from different areas. This was a big industrial center. A lot of coal was coming from here and going to Pittsburgh and the different and Buffalo and the different big coal centers. And these guys were out one day, one year, and they noticed a particular groundhog as unique. And that's when he became the guest of honor rather than the main course at that picnic. And that's Punksy Phil. He's been with us ever since.
They used to eat Phil?
I mean, not technically Phil. They ate groundhogs, but they liked Phil, so they didn't eat him.
I want to know, what exactly about this groundhog stood out that they were like, actually, this is a friend, not dinner.
You know what stood out? They were drinking a lot. That's absolutely what it was. And they decided this one's special, Yins.
And they weren't drinking before?
Well, maybe that's where the rest of the legend comes to life too, like the drinking part. I mean, because there's a whole thing with Phil that he's immortal. They've only ever had one Phil, and he drinks an elixir of life or something.
Yep. That's an elixir of life. Just for Phil, though, I think this is such a tragic story because Phil has a wife. They gave him a wife at some point, Phyllis, right. And Phyllis does not get the elixir.
Yeah, presumably there have been a lot of Phyllises over the years. Actually, it's probably one of my top 3 favorite TikToks ever. Was someone who did the split screen thing, a duet. It was the comedian Elise Myers who did a duet, and one of the people is singing as Phil and she's singing as Phyllis. I just love it so much.
I'm writing for the role of Phyllis, who is Phil's groundhog wife, who never drank the magic elixir, so every single Groundhog's Day, it's kind of a touchy subject.
You can have the fame of Phyllis.
I don't want it.
I'd give up all the fame.
You've been saying this for years. I know you love the overwhelming stares, the noisy crowds, the holy shadow, and the shame of Phyllis.
But don't pretend you want this.
If you want to see it in real life, I will post it on my Instagram. This TikTok brings me endless joy. I can never not giggle when I hear it.
I think it's so funny, too. And, very recently, they've been growing the family. Phil and Phyllis have had 2 kids, Sunny and Shadow. This was after we've talked to the handler and all that stuff. And there's actually a naming contest for the little groundhog babies. I think they should have stuck with, the PH Phil naming convention. They could have gone with philodendron, the plant, and philo, the dough.
Well, you just like to name things after food, so I think that's part of it.
That's true, but Sunny and Shadow feel kind of basic, but I get it.
No, Sunny and Shadow, I love it because it's kind of like an angel devil situation. I don't know which is which, though. I guess it depends on your temperament.
I guess. But I don't think they get the elixir either. So, very sad. It doesn't sound like either Sunny or Shadow would succeed him.
Yeah. Well, you don't need a successor if you're going to live forever.
That's true. That's true. Forgot about that temporarily. Sorry, Phil.
It sounds like mating season is also like sort of slow going too. Like I've read that they keep them both in front of like that picture window, so like they're in front of people all the time. And also because they're kept in captivity, like they don't hibernate like normal groundhogs out in the wild. So I'm guessing creating little sunnies and little shadows is also probably a fraught endeavor.
So maybe this is it. This is the whole family. Go see them now.
If you do want to see them in person, actually, Sophia also has some tips for what to expect if you're going to drive over to Gobbler's Knob.
Yes, Gobbler's Knob, which I know, Megan, you were a little confused about the difference between that versus Punxsutawney.
Yes, I had to look it up. So Punxsutawney is a town, as we've discussed, but Gobbler's Knob, I thought this was funny. The internet said that I should think of it as a venue or a stage. Like it's the place, the ceremonial spot where they do the Phil unveiling every year. It's not like a neighborhood or something.
It's basically like a giant park. I mean, obviously, town for 5,000 people versus 50,000 coming in, like you're gonna need a big space. But there are festivities like this weekend leading up to Groundhog Day on Monday. So if you want to like show up early, stay a night or two, there is a banquet, a ball, a talent show.
Ball?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And then
I mean, if you're gonna have top hat and tails be associated with your event, why not? Like just let's do it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, after Phil makes his weather prediction day of that morning, there's activities at the community center in the afternoon. So truly an all day, all weekend event. But one thing that's important to know is Gobbler's Knob is closed for car traffic on Groundhog Day. There's like a few limited exceptions, but like you're probably not one of them. So you do have to take a bus. There's 3 bus stops, $5 for a ride, cash only. The Groundhog Club website, has locations for all of the pickup spots. And the bus starts running at 3 a.m. And I have read online, because I was researching to maybe go last year, that yes, you do really need to be there that early, especially if you want a good spot.
I can confirm that because I actually know a lot of people who've done this over the years. Once was a roommate of mine, and she left our house at midnight to be able to get there, to get positioned, the whole nine. Like it was a commitment.
It really is, which is why I didn't end up going, because I couldn't rally anyone else to do it with me. But like if you get there that early, you can expect entertainment, because like the show also starts about 3 a.m. with Phil's Inner Circle on stage. So you can maybe see Rainmaker. There are fireworks at 6:30 a.m.
in the morning.
And then Phil does his thing at sunrise. So probably around like 7:20-ish. And then you can stick around to take photos with him. So if you plan on going, please stay warm and please send me a photo. You can reach me at Pittsburgh at citycast.fm. That'll hit everyone too. So everyone on our team gets a groundhog photo in the morning. I think that's a good way to sign into work.
Honestly, yeah, I will take all the cute, cuddly critters. If you want to celebrate here locally, Wiggle Whiskey has had a partnership with Groundhog Day with Punxsutawney for a while. They have a Phil-inspired drink. Is this like a ready-to-drink cocktail? I've heard about it, but I've never actually had it.
So I actually had tickets to go to Wiggle Whiskey because Phil was there last weekend, but then I was sick, so I couldn't go. So I'm really sad about it. I'm
looking it back
there,
up. Actually, I think this is just, it's a rye. It's a maple barrel-finished whiskey. It's aged for 5 years and made with Pennsylvania maple syrup. So really rounding the bases and keeping this as local as possible.
Yeah. I think if you go in person, they might be able to make you a cocktail, because like that was an offering as part of the whole celebration at Wiggle Whiskey. But you can also just get the rye whiskey
itself
too. It's also very cute. There's like a design of 2 Phils, one in the sun, one in the shadow.
Yeah.
So,
and blue and gold. So it kind of has Pitt vibes a little bit.
Maybe Pitt can host Punxsutawney Phil one year. I would love that personally. I wouldn't have to wake up quite so early to get there.
Well, Sophia, I'm manifesting this for you. I want you to be able to meet Phil in the flesh at some point in the near future.
Yes, maybe next year in Pittsburgh, maybe I will rally and get to Groundhog Day. Probably not. But one thing I do want to shout out is anyone can join the Groundhog Club, not the inner circle.
Not the Top Hat gang.
But you do need to pay for membership. I'm guessing this money goes to the festivities. But
Maybe
if you're
his
really
care?
excited, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah. But we'll have the link in the show notes to the website if you want to learn more and if you want to just show off how much you love Phil.
Perfect. Well, happy Groundhog Day, Jens. That is all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. By the by, I went hunting for actual data on how accurate Phil has been since his inception in 1887. Turns out he's worse than flipping a coin. If you go way, way back, it's 39% accuracy. And he almost always predicts winter. This year, I don't know that I think he's going to be wrong. You can support us by becoming a CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow with more from around the city. We'll talk to you soon.
That's so sad. He almost always predicts winter. Maybe he really does just want to hibernate. Maybe we do need to leave him alone.